We're back, everybody. After a week off, we're back with another episode of not the Golden Ticket Show. I am too tired today. The Payoff Pitch. Another episode. Welcome back, guys. We had a very interesting week in baseball. We got Hunter Dobbins pulling the Ken Griffey. We got the Sox pulling out they pulled out the series, right? Yeah. Dropped 27 runs in 3 games against the Yankees this weekend. The Braves hit an all-time low again. And the Nats won 1 game this weekend. So big steps for all our teams, but I mean, it was how was the weekend in terms of baseball for you guys?
As far as you mean betting wise?
I think in general, anything you noticed, anything you saw that you liked?
I saw Chipper Jones tee off against one of the umpires. I'm trying to remember the ump's name.
I know who you're talking about because I think it's the one who's thrown him out the most.
Doug Eddings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pretty much said call out his performance. Pretty much he's saying Angel Hernandez is a better umpire than this guy. So that's telling you a lot if people are comparing you to arguably one of the worst umpires that we've seen who people celebrated when he retired from the game. So that's just surprising. So that was one thing. And was it during the week? Who's the Athletics outfielder who decided to run into the wall and just blew up? Glasses going everywhere. I mean, he was focused on the ball. He made the catch, right? He made the catch.
Was it Butler?
I think so.
Yeah, whoever played center field that day. I don't remember who it was.
I'm trying to remember, but yeah, I like a picture in my head is him running full speed into the wall and just glasses go left, body goes right. Just it was like a head-on collision with the car, man.
I think it was Clark.
Yeah, it might have been Clark. Yeah, I tried looking it up. Everything that comes up is just on that Reds player who broke his arm in the middle of Matt Olson, hitting a single, and then he's like, "What do we do?" Because it's you can't really stop the game.
Right.
Yeah.
People are talking about Matt Olson. What is he supposed to do? Run out to the outfield?
He stopped and he looked at his coach is like, do I go? Do I just keep going? The umpire, they talk about in the NBA when someone gets hurt mid play like that, they always stop. It's like, okay, the umpires could have called a ground rule double on that and stop the ball.
Right.
But it's baseball. You didn't know his arm was broken. He could have just hit the wall hard. Obviously, if it was severe enough to make everyone stop and be like, oh shit, something happened, Matt wouldn't when the pitcher gets beamed in the head, they don't take second base. They just stay at first.
Right.
From you're 320 feet away, you can't see that.
Right.
You just see him running to the wall.
Right.
I do have to say, I'm now officially, I probably already was, but I'm just officially on the bandwagon of we need to start putting some of these teams that are on hot streaks on national TV more often and not just focus on it's the Yankees and the Red Sox, because the Brewers have been hot and they had 3 great games this weekend against the Padres. I mean, you have a walk-off home run in game 2. You lose a 2-0 win for the Padres on Friday, which came down to the top of the 8th, a 1-run win that came down to the 7th. So these were 3 great pitching duels with teams who it was pitching with the weak end of their rotation. For me, that's must-see TV, especially if you're trying to expand the game and show more markets. Right. Every Yankees fan, every Red Sox fan is going to tune in. But you get 2 teams who are hot right now, and you don't really pay attention to those games. They were 3 great games. you put it as an alternate broadcast if you live in Milwaukee or California for the Saturday night game. Like, I don't want to see 3 nationally televised games of Yankees Red Sox.
Right.
Like, cool, give them the Sunday game. Like, you can do
that's
that.
usually
Like,
the highlight game. That Sunday night game. They're the only night game on. Cool. Like, do that. But yeah, that's a great point, man. That's a great point.
yeah. Like, I'm looking at the schedule this weekend, from this last weekend. On Friday, you could have had, or you had other rivalry. I'm trying to find the game because I know he pitched this weekend. It might have been Sunday. Yeah, it was Sunday. The Paul Skeens game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you could have played that and then put the Yankees game on Saturday. You had Schoolboy pitching on, I think they did him for Friday night, but it was an alternate broadcast. There was 2 games going at once. You had Diamondbacks Reds, which was a close game. You even had Dodgers Cardinals, which was Saturday was Sonny Gray, which was going to be a good game. Like there was plenty of games that are like media worthy that they just don't want to play them. Like you look ahead to this weekend. I mean, Friday you're gonna have Royals Yankees, so a playoff rematch. You're gonna have Cardinals Brewers with the 2 best pitchers on both teams pitching, and you're gonna have Pirates Cubs with Skeens pitching this weekend in Wrigley for the first time since his last time there he had like 13 Ks. So there's a lot of good games this weekend, but you already know it's going to be the primetime game because the Yankees and Red Sox play again this weekend in Boston. So you already know they're going to go back to back with it. Like this is how you talk about small markets. This is how you gain small market teams.
Right.
I did want to get
everyone knows who the Red Sox and the Yankees are. Like everyone knows who they are.
The series, I'm all for them getting all 3 games if those games decide if one team makes the playoffs or not, or both those teams are within a game or 2 of first place.
Right.
Like I remember the Braves when they played the Phillies, when they played the Mets and the Mets collapsed a couple years ago. They nationally televised all 3 games because whoever won 2 of those 3 was going to take first place with 3 games left. So it's every game meant something. Like they don't care as much. But I mean, the one thing I did want to ask you guys before we get into our topics today about that game, the Sunday game, Jazz Chisholm said we need more trash talking in baseball. Do you guys agree? How do we get more of it?
Well, one, we have to stop like demonizing players that show some emotion, right? So player shows emotion, they kind of like I would say majority of the people who call the games, who give commentary during the games, don't back it up. I guarantee there are some that are like, hey man, I like that. You know what I mean? I like the chirping. And and they're professional athletes, so they're not going to go hard. Like we see the college kids. College kids are about to throw like bows out there, bro. It's
Dominican League. They're the bat fling is 20 feet in the air.
It's about to be a full on fight, but they're like yelling at each other. Like he's like running bases after hitting a home run, talking trash the whole way through. And like they don't have to necessarily do that extreme, but we need some chirping. You know what I mean? The ball comes a little bit too high. Batter says some things to the pitcher. That's fine. I agree with him with that. It brings some emotion, man.
I think the problem with it is umpires now are too easy to throw people out when they get hit. So, like, I'm all right with the trash talking, but then you got to let the pitchers defend their team and throw inside more and intentionally hit guys. And the umpires are too quick to throw people out in those situations.
Yeah, I think also the whole unwritten rule thing is always annoying. Like if you're like in the situation Sunday where Jazz Chisholm was saying like, "Oh, I want the smoke. Like trash talk, please. We need more of this." And he hits a home run off of Dobbins, let's say. He pimps it out, flexes the bat, kind of trash talks. He's getting plunked the next at bat. We saw, you remember Tim Anderson, he threw the bat, talk shit when he had a home run with the White Sox. Next time he went to plate, pitch was at his head.
Yeah.
So I think there's a difference between when players need to find that balance of when it's trash talking, because it's a competitive game. You just hit a home run versus, we're up 8-0 and I just pimped a 2-run shot off the catcher.
Right.
So I think when players start kind of I would say pitchers almost would when they see the difference between he's trash talking because he hit a good home run off me versus he's being disrespectful. And you can't really find that line with baseball because you don't really play each other enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Baseball players aren't on social media like NBA and NFL players.
Yeah, but you have your rivalry. You have your games that are going to be nationally. Like if the Yankees Red Sox game had some trash talking, would you feel the same way about it being on TV? Or like, yo, we're about to get some grade A baseball, regardless of what the record is. We're about to see some fireworks tonight.
I would. I think if we have let's say Jazz and Hunter Dobbins trash talk and then they play the next day. Yeah, I would love to see it on national TV. Everyone would. Let's say I'll use Braves Phillies as an example. Let's say whoever's starting for Philly makes some comment about Acuna. First at bat when they're up at plate, everyone's going to want to watch that.
Right.
It's just like for the Braves, it's when what's his name, Jose Urania, whenever he's playing Atlanta and Acuna's up, everyone's watching that because he's hit Acuna 6 times. So but I think baseball is also one of those sports trash talking's hard. Because, basketball, you trash talk someone and you're trash talking during the game, you're putting up 20 points on them. If you trash talk someone in baseball, it kind of takes the volume out of it when you go 1 for 4 with a single the next day. You know what I mean? Because it's not like basketball, because if you swing for a home run on every pitch, if you're trash talking, you're just gonna look like a fool.
Right. But yeah, there's moments. There can be moments. So
I would say we need more beef than trash talk. We need more of the Javi Baez, Amir Garrett.
I mean, a few years ago, was it 2 or 3 years ago, we watched Tim Anderson get cleaned up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe not. I mean, fights, yeah, but we need. I'm thinking we need more of the we see all these pitchers trash talk. We need you remember when Javi hit that single off of Amir Garrett and he walked to first. It was the walk-off single and he's rowing the boat on it. We need more of that. We need more of players having so much beef with each other that one at bat becomes must-see TV.
Yeah. Well, it's got to start. Once it starts, it'll build from there. We'll have our rivalries. We'll have guys because. Yeah, especially if you're going to play, you have a couple series against these certain teams, especially if it's in your division. You're definitely going to see them more than once. You're going to be able to talk some trash throughout the whole season with the team within your division.
And that's the thing too, is a lot of these team players don't want to have beef with players in their division because they play them enough.
Yeah, well,
we need it. Yeah, Strider, go hit another Philly, start some shit. We're not making the playoffs anyway, so start some shit. Did y'all see the Nico Horner thing, by the way, this weekend?
No.
Where he got thrown
caught on
out?
the hot mic. Yeah, they found the hot mic of it. He just turned around to the umpire and said, you're really not having a good day. And they just threw him out instantly. And he was like, what did I do?
I think I think it was more that he stepped towards him than if he had stayed in the box or had kind of took a step back and walked the other direction instead, I don't know if he would have thrown him out. I think it had more to do with the fact that he went towards him behind the catcher.
He stepped like he was ready to get in his face.
Right.
I don't know. I remember the clip now. I did see it from this weekend. That was a little fast on the trigger, though, in my opinion, man.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just think
And
again,
like,
I think it had more to do with his actions than it did the words.
yeah,
Yeah, like
but
when the NBA player runs to the referee and like touches him accidentally, kind of thing.
right.
Right.
I mean, what are refs? I mean, umps like, what I mean, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? Like, trash back and like, let's keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, if it's especially if it's something that like that was said. If it was like F your mom and going overboard and all kind like, all right, man, get the hell out of here. But I mean, you're not just saying you're not having a good day or you're having a bad day.
I'll never forget the Braves organist getting thrown out of a game because after like 2 bad calls in a row, he played 3 blind mice, and they threw the organist out of the game.
That's
So,
funny.
all right, so let's get into our topics this week. So first one is we are now entering trade season. As Pazan and Nightingale have put out their list of teams who are buying and selling. So I mean, everyone always wants to see the big names move. I don't think we're going to get a lot of big names moved because everyone's going to want Paul Skeens moving, and they're not going to move.
Yeah, that's not
Paul
happening this
Skeens.
year.
So I guess here we can go. I have a full list of teams who Pazan says the best players are available. Anyone they should look at targeting. So for a team like, I would say let's start with Baltimore. Do you think this is like a buy year? Is this a fire sale year, or is it a retool, or is this just kind of a forget this happened and start fresh?
I mean, if I was in control of the team, it'd be a just forget and let's try again next year. But in the off season, I'm going out and getting another pitcher or two. Like you can't have the same pitching staff that you had this year.
Yeah, pitching should be a priority. I found an article on MLB.com, came out maybe a day or so ago. We posted up, started looking, and they said pieces that they can get rid of right now if they do want to make a move. And Ryan O'Hearn was one of the trading pieces that popped up for the Orioles to make a move potentially. So, but yeah, I agree with Kev though. I mean, this season is kind of a wash for them.
Yeah, I think the weird thing with them is like it's not like they're in a position where they need prospects, right? And it's not like they're in a position where they need like big names. So I think this is one of those, like, you just kind of sit there, and if someone says like, hey, we're interested in Sagana, what are you looking for? Like, then you have those discussions, like, hey, we need a relief pitcher. Who are you willing to part with? Like one of those kind of things. I think that's where you're kind of sitting. So, I mean, their GM has been known to be pretty passive, considering, they didn't go after Corbin Burns. They didn't really go after anyone in free agency this year. And they have a lot of bad moves that are on 1 year deals. So I think you just let some of these guys walk if you don't get anything, and use that extra cap space to bring in a big name this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
They said they want to invest in a team, man. The fans are going to start asking, especially after this season.
We need Cal on here. We need his opinions on this. So let's go with New York. Let's go with the Yankees. We're going to go division by division here. Obviously, they're going to be buyers. The Yankees are always buyers at the deadline. What's the need that the Yankees have to fill to take that next step to go back to the World Series and win it?
Second base, pitching, and bullpen. Just throwing it out there. Anybody agree? Disagree?
I think definitely getting your third elite arm, right? I mean, I guess some people might not say Rondon's an elite arm, but the year he's having is pretty good. I mean, we'd probably be talking about him more if Freed wasn't having the year he's having. So I think potentially trying to get a third ace for playoff run is something they're going to be looking at, and then, you know, another bat because Stanton's still on the injured reserve or IL injured list, I should say. So, whether it's O'Hearn from Baltimore or can't think of the first baseman's name at Milwaukee now, although Milwaukee's playing well. So
Hoskins.
yeah, Hoskins. So I don't know if Milwaukee would get rid of him at this point, but maybe trying to pick up another bat and potentially another ace is, I think, where they're going to try to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is for me is a lot of the players that seem to fit their need that they should go after are in division, and a lot of teams don't like trading in division.
Right.
But, like Pazan said, Brandon Lowe's a great fit. I think that's a great move. With Weaver's injury, I mean, do you pick up the phone for Baltimore and look at maybe Bautista, Cano, someone like that, or do you look for maybe the Nats with Chafin or Finnegan, someone like that you could get them for like 1 year, maybe a second year, and just see if you could fill the void enough until Weaver's fully healthy.
Right.
I'm not as worried as their starting pitching because Luis Heel will be back, so I think that's probably going to send Will Warren to the bullpen for a bit. But I mean, in reality, when you get to the playoffs, you're only pitching 3 starters, right? So Rodon, Freed, who am I missing?
Will Warren.
Schmidt's technically their third starter.
Yeah, and then if you feel confident enough in Schmidt, but if you don't, I mean, there's do you look at Sandy, who is at the very least a workhorse in the playoffs and could go 90-plus pitches, and you can just deal with the iffy ERA. Because he's been pitching better, so I think he's finally getting some sleep.
It's just like, who's willing to sell right now, right? Like,
I had an option.
Are the Reds interested in selling Hunter Green now that they're only 500 and kind of
I don't know about that, considering he's having to get a second opinion on his back.
Right, he's injured again, right?
I mean, do you take the risk on a 3 lefty rotation and you go after Tyler Anderson because you have a ground ball pitcher that has a decent curveball, but I mean, other than that,
I'm looking up off this article, and Nick Martinez was a trading piece that the Reds could move. So bringing a right-handed pitcher, I mean, and you can put him late in innings. You can put him in the bullpen. He could be a part. He can put some strength for him for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Has Sandy? I mean, you said 90 pitches. I mean, but has Sandy gone more than 5 innings this year yet?
He's done a couple 6
innings.
He's
gone. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we really even talk about the Rays because I mean we'll talk about them later. I don't think they're never seeming in the trade market outside of getting rid of players, but the way they're playing this year, they do have a chance of making the playoffs. So I don't think they're going to be. But that name Brandon Lau has been been talked about a lot. Looking at the Blue Jays now, the one name everyone's talking about as they're sitting 35-30 with the 3rd hardest remaining schedule in baseball to end the season. What do you do with Bichette? Because he's not going to sign an extension this season. Do you take the risk of losing him, or do you just trade him now and try to get something back?
I mean, just who fills that role right away though on their team?
Well, I think he's going to be a day of the deadline trade because at that point you got to say, okay, where are we at? Do we have a shot, or do we need to pack it in?
Right.
Because if you're sitting, 5 or 6 games out of the last wild card spot, I don't think I can trust this team to put it all, together like that. And then at the very least, Bichette's going to be valuable enough, and maybe a change of scenery is going to help him.
Yeah.
I just want to cut you off real quick. Make sure to tell Lydia that the parlay hit. So
you may wake her up.
Yeah, absolutely, 100.
Lydia, the parlay hit. Why do you got to hit? Huh? Okay. Love you. So now we just need Zach Nito because she added him in because she couldn't get the early games on. I mean, for me, if you're maybe Detroit, or even if not Detroit, if you're Seattle, I might pick up the phone, call Toronto, and just say, hey, what can we give you? Get 1 year. I mean, Seattle's in that position where I think they could risk it for 1 year with being, like a couple games out. You have JP Crawford in there right now. But I think a middle infield involving JP Crawford and Bo Bichette is a little bit better than JP Crawford and Dylan Moore. And it shores up your bats, because then think about your bats. Then you would have Julio, Bichette, and Cal Raleigh as your first 3 hitters.
Right.
And at the very least, that's good enough to get you through the rest of the season and then maybe farther. But we all know Bichette's going to be a Brave next year. So.
Well, we're just talking about 1 year rental, right?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, yeah, I think it's almost like you got to see, are they it gives you the rest of the season to convince him that this is a place you want to play at. And if you feel like, hey, he's playing well, but it's just not going to be a fit, we're not going to be able to spend the money on him, then it's okay. You got the half season that puts you in playoffs.
Right.
Let's see. Moving on. Sox. Buyers, sellers. What do you do with this team? I wish Don was here because he would tell us their season's over. Just fire the whole team.
Well, they called up his boy, so he might be back on the wagon.
I think similar to the Blue Jays, they'll probably be, to your point on the Blue Jays, they'll probably wait close to the deadline if they are going to make a move. See if bringing Roman Anthony up helps them get back into the mix of things. If it doesn't, who do you get rid of though? Right? You just signed Crochet. You just signed Buehler.
Well, Buehler's on a 1 year deal, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Giolito's in the last year of his. Chapman's in the last year of his. So I think
Giolito?
Looking for arms. Someone's going to take a risk on him. The thing is, though, is as Boston gets closer to July, their schedule goes from the 7th hardest to the 3rd hardest.
Yeah.
Rest of the season, they got to play 10 more games against the Yankees. They still got to play the Dodgers, the Padres, the Cubs, and the Tigers.
Yeah.
Is their season over?
Maybe. I don't know. I think the thing is they're in 4th place. They're still only 8 games back. And in terms of the wild card, they're still only 4 games back in the last spot, which right now is held by Toronto. Like from the first wild card spot to the fourth worst team in baseball and the AL right now is a 4-game difference. So it's not like a late run surge couldn't just keep them alive. So I guess you just have to wait for there. But I mean, is there anyone you think you'd be willing to get rid of?
I just don't know. When I look at their roster, I just don't know who that would be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Bueller and Chapman maybe because of that kind of their experience in the playoffs and World Series.
I'm looking right now. Boston is 4 games out of the wild card as of right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not too late to make a run. I think if Boston's in the position where it's like, okay, we either have to buy in and get like a lot of pitching help, or we need to go ahead and sell these pitchers, get some prospects and retool for next year. Yeah, let's move through some of these other teams pretty quick, a little bit quicker. I knew we were going to get caught on the Yankees again. Don would be disappointed in us. All right, AL Central. Who's buying? Who's selling? Where I'm looking at it right now, I think the Royals and Guardians, I think, might go heavy in the trade market to push them up into back up into those spots. As they're both Cleveland's sitting a game out of wild card and Kansas City sitting a game and a half.
Yeah. I mean, I can see the Guardians trying to go after some pitching. I think the Royals, their bats, I mean, they're like second to last in home runs this year.
Yeah.
So maybe they try to go after some bats to try to infuse something. I know that's why they brought Jack. I can't pronounce his last name. But yeah, I mean, that's why they brought him up to try to help with some power and some hitting. So, I wouldn't surprise me if they try to go after another bat and try to get some more power in the lineup.
I think Cleveland might be in the Bichette talks too. Personally, I think a great shortstop, even if you don't want to re-sign him, but just to get you through the season could help a lot. And they have the 5th best schedule the rest of the year. I mean, they have 30 games where they have to play the Rockies, Sox, Marlins, the Braves, and the A's.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
and I mean, they don't have like what we would consider a legit shortstop right now either. So.
Yeah. And I think also, I think you need a legit right fielder. I think they can't keep doing this rotation. I think you look at some of these teams that have these guys in the last year deal. You might look at at the worst case, a Tommy Pham. Maybe even someone like Grichuk or Laureano. Laureano has been kind of average, but at least it gives you like a vet in the outfield. I just think they're in that weird spot where it's too many veterans and too young guys.
Yeah.
Steve, who's buying? Who's selling? Who do you think makes some moves, and who do you think moves in and out?
Out of Cleveland and Kansas City?
Just the AL Central in general.
I mean, those are only 2 teams that should do anything because, I mean, Minnesota's sitting 35-30 right now. They're in the wild card spot. I mean, maybe they look at some bats for Minnesota, but, I mean, they're scoring. So I don't see them really struggling with scoring right now. And, yeah, it's got to be either Cleveland or Kansas City in the Central. So, I mean, the White Sox might pull off something, 13 and a half games back from the wild card spot. You never know.
I mean, I honestly think the
Listen-
Tigers, similar to the Yankees, will try to go after another pitcher.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
fill
you
up that
need,
last spot in the rotation.
because if you're not going to do it, guess who is going to do it? The Dodgers. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. We'll do the AL West and then we'll do the NL next week just to save up some time. So AL West, Astros have made a surge after struggling to start the year. They're in first. The A's went from one of the most surprised. Steve, we said they were going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we were right. They started the season a top 3 team in the AL West, and in their last 25 games, they are 2-23. So they've dropped to 10 games out. The Angels are sitting only 4 games out right now. Who's buying, who's selling, and then just to get into our next topic at the same time, if you're Texas, you're 10-22 on the road this season. Your offense isn't going anywhere. But you're still sitting 4.5 games out. Who can you target and who are you willing to get rid of to make that push?
yeah, they've been disappointing. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know, man. Because even look at their schedule or how they've played against teams that are better than 500. They're 16-24, man. They need the run differential.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm saying this too early because I'm backtracking too much on them, picking them to win the West early when we did our preseason stuff. But Berger's starting to hit a little better, but I think they end up being sellers, honestly. And I think Tyler Mahle is probably the guy who ends up going for sure.
Yeah, he's been pitching good too.
Corbin maybe goes if somebody's looking for some experience, but
I think if you're trying to find like a 6th starter, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe somebody to throw into your bullpen during the playoffs.
So you think they'll sell pitching?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tyler Mahle, because of all these hurts, still, as you said, they're playing bad against teams that are good, and that's not going to be a winning season, right? Like, you got to find a way to do at least 500 against teams that are good, and they're just not doing that. Because if you at least go 500 against teams that are good, then you have to do pretty well against teams that are below 500. And when they're not playing well against the better teams, and then you're just kind of hanging in there against the worst teams,
right?
It's not gonna lead to success come July when you need to make a decision about trading. Yeah, but when I look at the roster, it's either you're buying pitching because you somehow got back into the hunt, or you're selling pitching because I don't really see anybody else as far as bats wise that they would get rid of.
I think they need to get rid of Adolis. I think he needs a fresh start, and I think you need to go.
Doesn't he have like a huge contract? Like, who's going to take that on?
I think some team's going to take a risk on him. Honestly, he 2-year, $14 million contract.
Okay, no, so not as bad as I thought.
And I think he's on the last year of it.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it was. So yeah, somebody might. No. So somebody like, I don't know how many home runs and what his batting average is, but somebody like the Royals might be willing to take a shot on him.
He is. Let's see.
So he only has 7 home runs.
If he will, so Garcia is getting 10.5 mil this year. He still has 1 more year of arbitration next year, and then he goes unrestricted. So if some team could trade for him, still have team control for a year. So if they feel like they can still get something out of him, then they can, go to arbitration with him or offer him a deal, a low risk, high reward deal for both of them. And, you could be done with it. But I think they're pitching. The thing is you have so many pitchers that are ready, and you already have too many veteran arms that are on contracts where they're not leaving.
Right.
And
well, so again, I mean, this may be, if they can't keep up, this may be a blessing in disguise, right? Then all of a sudden you can get rid of some of these guys and then next year start to bring up your guys from the minors.
I mean, they have so many starting pitchers. They're talking about moving Rocker to the pen, to be a closer, just because they need a closer. And I mean, obviously, I think he'd be a great closer.
Looking at how many runs they've scored, they've scored the least amount of runs in the AL West. I mean, 221 runs, and the closest team to them are the Houston Astros with 261. So just right there tells you that they need to do something with their bats. And I think they're thin on their farm system right now. So it's not even they can pull somebody up that could inject some offense into their lineup. So maybe moving one of the pitchers, try to get a bat in the lineup, see if that changes something for them.
Yeah. I think so. I just think they're in that weird spot where they either have to fully commit to blow the whole farm system up to get back to that World Series level, or they got to blow it all up and start fresh. And I don't think Chris Young's going to want to blow it all up.
Right. I mean, the thing is, will their bats start to get hot here in the next month? If you look at their whole lineup, or at least their starters, not a single one of them's hitting over 270.
Yeah.
And most of them are hitting under 230. Berger's hitting under 230, Heim, Garcia, Simeon, Langford, Seager's at 240, but he's close. So they can catch fire. If they catch hot, all of a sudden, if 3 or 4 of those guys all of a sudden start hitting,
right,
they could be right back in the thick of things. But
after that, Kev, after dropping that nugget, I mean, maybe just wait, Danny, because like you said, the risk and reward is not enough to blow up your farm system or blow up the team and start all over. I don't think they want to do that. And in runs allowed, they're actually the team that's given up the least amount of runs. So yeah, if they get hot, that could change completely for them.
Side note, this just happened. I'm about to share the screen and show this to you guys. Denzel Clark, the guy we were talking about earlier, just had possibly the home run robbery of the season. Y'all ready for this?
Nolan Shonowell with a fly ball left center field. Denzel Clark racing back. He's all the way back. He's at the wall. He climbs it. He caught it. I can't believe it. Denzel Clark with a sensational catch. How did he do it?
Fun fact, that ruined my parlay. No, I'm kidding. Just look on the face of Shannawell here. I'm gonna pull this back up. Look at his face when he saw this.
Yeah. This dude was like, 4 days ago, this dude was eating.
He's like, man, I just hit that dead center.
Safe to say he's okay, right?
Yeah.
right.
Or is it a rookie of the year situation? Like the hit just gave him superpowers.
He's more aware of the wall though. That's such a low wall though. He was just like
that's the thing. He almost jumped over it.
Right.
All right, getting into our next topic here. We just talked about the Rangers. Astros and Giants. I think we can all agree. I don't think any of us have Astros and Giants staying where they're at this late in or this stage of the season, as the Astros are now they're 7 games above 500. They're first place. And the Giants, who I think we all thought were going to drop down, are now 10 games above 500. And they're currently tied with San Diego for the top wildcard spot. And they're only a game behind LA for the West. These two teams also have the lowest or have the best remaining strength of schedule starting on July 1st, and then after All-Star break, it's even better, including both teams have to play Colorado 6 or more times, the White Sox, the Marlins. Houston still has 11 games versus the Athletics, 7 versus the Orioles, and San Francisco still has 6 against the Pirates, 3 against the Orioles, and 6 against the Marlins. Can they keep this up? Or like, where are we looking at the downfall here? Like where do we see like what could cause them to miss?
Well, for Houston, if the Rangers get hot, that's going to be a problem for them. We already know what San Francisco kind of has to deal with the Dodgers and the Padres.
And they've yet to play the Dodgers. They still have all 13 games against them.
See, that's big too.
The hardest part of their schedule is they have 13 versus LA, 7 versus San Diego, 6 versus the Mets. I mean,
does Houston have any series against like the Yankees or Detroit?
They still have 6 against the Yankees. They have to play Philly, LA, Chicago, and Detroit one time each.
So, I mean, yeah, it looks like San Francisco's the team we got to look at. That I got to flip flop. Then after hearing that what's left on their schedule, I think Houston has the best chance to keep going what they're doing. San Francisco, even though we said we couldn't see them continuing on, they might be the team that's going to have a little regression coming.
Kev?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Also, like, even though the Giants are finding ways to score runs, like they're not hitting all that great. They're finding ways to produce runs, which I guess is good for them. But I just think in that division, and I know Arizona's been struggling lately, but I kind of expect Arizona to come back a little bit. In the West with the Astros and the AL West, you know, you're only really worried about 2 teams, right? The Mariners and the Rangers. The Angels shouldn't be doing anything. And obviously the White Sox, or not the White Sox, but the A's have started to fall off. So I think the Astros definitely have a better shot of winning that division, or at least holding on to a wild card spot. The Giants, I kind of expect the Diamondbacks to put up a fight. And then just in general, the NL looks to be a little more difficult this year with teams like the Phillies, who aren't winning their division right now, but are 38-28. The Cardinals are 36-20. The Brewers are finding a way to win games. So, yeah, I think the Giants, and I'm just also a little more worried about the Giants pitching, even though they've done well. Like, how much do I really continue to trust Landon Rope and Hayden Birdsong, even though they've been pitching well so far? Like, if those 2 guys can continue to do what they've been doing, then the Giants are going to stay where they are.
Yeah, I think they're a team that we may see get aggressive when it comes to like a starting pitching. But I think they're going to be – the problem is a lot of the big names that you could get a 1-year rental from, I just don't think they can get anyone that's not going to be like under a bunch of team control, which means they're going to have to give up a lot. I think personally, if Milwaukee can't get it done and can't keep up with the wild card, as they're sitting 2.5 games back. So if something happens and they start falling down closer towards like Nats territory, where it's looking like a really tough road for them to get in, I wouldn't hate seeing Freddie Peralta moved, maybe to the Giants. I'm sure you can give up a couple pitching prospects for them. I mean, if you're the Brewers, and we'll talk about them more next week, but like, if you're the Brewers, like, where the fuck do you go? Like, you said, all right, Corbin Burns, okay, we got Woodruff, he's coming back. He got hurt again in rehab, and now he has to sit out a month before his next rehab start. So, like, I mean, for God's sake, you put Aaron Savale and DL Hall out there today. I didn't know Savale was still on a team. Like, I just think.
I mean, speaking of the Brewers, I mean, if they do start to struggle with the way Jose Quintana's been pitching this year, that could be a potential.
I was thinking him too. Like, especially a fly ball pitcher in San Francisco's would be really good because center field is so deep you can't hit anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously we have another month till the deadline or a little more than that, and we'll really start to see where some of these teams fall because to your point, I think where a lot of the potential ace arms are right now are these teams that are on the borderline. Your Blue Jays, your Brewers, your Diamondbacks, right? Like Merrill Kelly could be a really good option. I think he's on the last year of his deal. But if they all of a sudden turn things around, they're not going to get rid of him.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Same thing with Tyler Mahle, who we talked about with the Rangers. The Rangers figure a way to turn it around. They're not going to get rid of him. To your point, if the Brewers stay competitive, they're not going to get rid of Peralta. So, like, the aces right now are on these kind of borderline teams. So we got to see if they fall or they rise, or if they. I guess my question would be is if they stay where they are, if those three teams in particular, the Diamondbacks, the Rangers, and the Brewers, if they kind of stay where they are right now, a month from now, do you sell those three guys and call it a season? Like that's,
I think the thing for the Brewers, in my head, it's just that you have two pitching prospects that are like going to be ready in the next year or two. And if you can convince Freddie to stay after next year, then you would have a great 3-man punch. But you got to get to that point.
Right.
Like every year, I feel like they're the team that everyone's like, no one knows the names of any players outside of like 4 guys. And then halfway through the season, you're like, oh yeah, these guys can rake. These guys can hit. It's just that they're the best mediocre team I've ever seen. It's the best way to put it. Like they'll consistently win 80 plus games, go over 500, but then you forget that they're how good or bad they are. In terms of the Giants, like they're the greatest third place team in MLB history. Like every year, what was it 2019 or 2021? They won like 96 games and they were in third place in their division. Like it's a sign that we need to go to a 16-team playoff, and it's the top 16 teams from both. We need to college football this situation. Get more of the NL West in the playoffs.
Yeah, what's the NBA, the MLB? That's what he's trying to do.
Listen, I mean, now that we're playing everyone, like that's my one rule change I wish we would do, because it's like everyone plays everyone now. So it's, the whole thing is like the best of the NL versus the best of the AL, because we never see each other. You see each other all the time now. So it doesn't make a difference anymore. Like, just go ahead and go with the top teams. Every year we have 2 teams that miss the playoffs that are literally like 85 and fucking 77, like that are playoff caliber teams if they weren't in, the NL West or we're in the AL East. Like, why not go ahead? Like, you're gonna change every other stupid rule, might as well.
I think you have a point there, man. I mean, MLB is one of the few sports where expanding the playoffs wouldn't necessarily hurt it. Like, how like NBA, they expanded. It's kind of like, yo, man, like everyone shouldn't be making the damn playoffs.
Right. And it also gets rid of this first round bye thing. Like, cool, that works in football because it gives them a week off.
Right.
But you have guys that played 162 games in a 175-day season, and now you're like at the biggest time of the year, you're just going to give them a week off.
Right.
Think about how often
these teams aren't performing well.
The Braves got smoked. The first year they did it, the Dodgers got smoked by the Diamondbacks.
Right. Philly last year.
I mean,
it's not an advantage to have a rest in baseball like that. So maybe expanding would.
Yeah, it used to be, oh, you won your division, cool. You get an extra 3 days off because now we have to play the wild card game. And it was like, cool, I get a weekend off, and now I'm back. You're getting these guys completely out of rhythm.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that, man. They should expand it. And also, too, I mean, keep people watching your damn games, because by, August, September, if your team is sitting third and they're 4 games back, you're just kind of like, well.
Like September is when you get the teams where it's like you see the spreads that are like 4.5, 5.5, because it's like San Francisco knows they're not making a wild card, so they're just going to put their entire farm system in to play the Dodgers this week, and the Dodgers just get an easy, cheap win.
Right. Yeah, I see more upside than downside on that one.
So, but let's get into our starting 5. We had a good week last week last one with the jerseys. I think we all had fun with that one. So I thought this week, we talked about like some old timey nicknames the last show. So this one is old timey nicknames. The best 5 that we found. I even went a little deeper. I found players who had fun nicknames and had some like insane stats too, because some of these guys are fucking crazy. So.
Damn, you would. All right.
It was just more of like I didn't want to do a guy with a funny nickname, and I looked and his career average is like 115. You know what I mean?
That would piss Kev off. You don't want to do that, man.
Yeah, no Kyle Schwarber shit.
But I will say I didn't do that. So like.
All right, so I just randomized the list. The order this week is Kev, me, Steve, and then we'll go back Steve, me, Kev the other way.
Like, how old are we going here?
I set myself to like old enough that like I went like 40s and like 50s to 60s is the latest.
Bro, the earliest guy I have is 1900. I went back.
Oh, all my guys are 1900s.
I mean the year 1900.
Okay. Yeah, I went. All right, so Kev, if any of us have any matching ones, it's gonna be fucking insane. Like that's gonna be crazy because there's so many of these.
All right, so
I got my number 1 pick. I'm gonna pull up his stats too, so I can throw that out too.
60s.
Shout out Baseball Reference.
Lower.
Me and Steve came prepared. Kevin did not.
Yeah, well, I didn't come. Well, because I wasn't thinking super old. I guess is what. So most of mine were like I had.
I mean, it doesn't. If you have any that are not, it's fine. Like I just
had
old
Ozzie
timey
Smith on my list.
Okay.
He's gonna be Mr. Popular Pick. I got
all
you.
right, I'll do this because
Kev 5 minutes before the show Googled best MLB nicknames.
I'll do this because I'm a golfer. I'll take Richie Putt Putt Ashburn.
Okay, I like that. I like Richie Ashburn. My first one is Parisian Bob Carruthers. So I was like, why is this guy named Parisian Bob? And then I looked at his stats. So in 1885, he threw 53 complete games. He was 40-13 with a 2 ERA. He threw 310 games. He had 298 complete games. Pitched 2,828 innings. His 162 game average, no joke, was 296, and he pitched in 32 games. So meaning he pitched over 9 innings per game in his in a 100 in his season average. You know what's even crazier? He never had 200 strikeouts in a season, and never had an ERA. He only had 1 season with an ERA above 3.1. He had between 1885 and 1890, he had 40 wins, 30 wins, 29 wins, 29 wins, 40 wins, 23 wins. He only lost more than 10 games twice. This dude is insane. I was looking this up. I didn't think this was real. His career stats are 218 and 99 with a 2.8 ERA and a 60 WAR. Stud. All right, Kev, what do you got? Or Steve, what do you got? You get two picks.
My first pick is Jose Mendez. He played in the Cuban National League, also coached he was also a manager in the Negro League. Okay. His nickname is El Diamante Negro. Translation, the Black
Demon.
Diamond. So, looking up his stats, he had 30 wins, 9 losses, ERA of 3.46. He only started 31 games, but pitched in 69 and had 8 saves. He didn't have any crazy like 40 wins in a season. Jesus Christ. Well, buddy, you're pitching again. Like what? What rest?
I even looked it up. He averaged 118 pitches per game. You know that man's arm was fucking jelly.
Just a bunch of wimps nowadays.
He probably also was throwing it probably like 75, 80 miles.
You ever seen those videos where it's like how pitchers warmed up now versus back in the day? And it was a guy like doing like all the stretch bands, and it was like 1960. It's like, oh, I'm pitching, puts his cigarette out, puts his hot dog down, and runs to the mound, throws a complete game.
Worked at the steel mill 8 hours.
There's a page on Facebook that they take like old vintage photos of like 80s and 70s players and they'll make a fake backstory. And one of them was for what's his name, John Kruk. And he was like, he gets in his truck, pushes over the Bush Naturals that was sitting that he drank the night before on the way home, boils 3 hot dogs and heads to the ballpark.
All right, my next pick is Joe Medwick, nickname Ducky Wucky. He, let me see if I can pull up these stats real quick. He played for the St. Louis Cardinals from 1932 to 1948. He had 205 home runs. He had 7,635 at-bats. And I'm sorry, Kev. And Kev, you'd be happy with him. He had a batting average of 324.
Yeah.
Okay, approval. So yeah, Joe Medwick, Ducky Wucky, or Ducky if you just want to keep it short. That's my second pick.
All right, my sexy second pick is Jimmy Bannon.
Happens to be a sexy pick, right?
Yeah. Well, his name is Foxy Grandpa.
Oh, that's perfect.
So he only played 4 seasons between 22 and 20. Maybe it was 22 and 25 in 1893 to 1896. 3 of those seasons he hit 250, and in 1894 he hit 336 with 166 hits, 13 home runs, 99 stolen bases, and was only caught once in 4 seasons. Yeah, if you put his 162 game average, he would have finished every year averaging 8 home runs and 112 RBIs with 44 stolen bases a year. In 1893, he played 124 games. He struck out 5 times.
Wow.
Tony Gwynn is shaking in his boots. He did get hit by a pitch 11 times that year, though. That's my second pick, Mr. Foxy Grandpa.
All right. I'm going 2 Hall of Famers for my next 2. Going with not quite as late as you guys, but they're below the 60s. So, but we go first off with Bob, the heater from Van Meter Feller. Played for the Indians, had to stop due to World War II. Had 3 career no hitters, and led the MLB in strikeouts 7 times. And then, don't really need to go over this guy's stats, but Joe, the Yankee Clipper DiMaggio.
Okay, I like that. My next one is probably my favorite because this is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. This is Bob Ferguson. He was a infielder slash manager. His nickname was Death to Flying Things.
He hit a bird, didn't he?
Death to flying.
No, his defense was so good that they couldn't get the ball past him. So it was Death to Flying Things. Anything in the air died at his feet. He started playing when he was 26 for New York University, as when they were a professional baseball team, and they were the New York Mutuals, which sounds like an insurance company. He played from the time he was 26 till the time he was 39. He only hit 1 home run. It was when he was 38.
Oh, jeez.
In that time frame, he had a career 265 average. This guy literally didn't do anything. And that's what's so funny. Like, I was like, okay, maybe he was 16 for 28 in steals. He struck out 136 times. He had 920
positions.
Yeah, he was also the manager.
Okay.
He was a player manager.
Right.
He had 920 hits over 11 years. 102 doubles. And it's funny, the first 5 years he struck out a combined 15 times. The rest of the 8 years remaining in his career, he struck out 135 times. So that's my pick, Bob Death to Flying Things Ferguson. And I'm also just gonna pull him up because this is like his photo's great. Like, it truly is. Like, you could tell this was a guy who got the ladies in back when he played. Look at that man.
It was all the mustache, man.
Yeah, he literally it literally said his last season he played 3 games and then he retired because he didn't feel good one day, decided he didn't want to play anymore, and then he died a week later.
He did what he loved. That was it. It was baseball. Probably fought in the Civil War too.
Mm-hmm.
He's seen enough. All right, I'm gonna stick with your theme, man. I'm gonna go with George Sisler. He played for the St. Louis Browns from 1915 to 1930. Nickname was Gorgeous George. He had a batting average that would make Kev proud, 340. So he could play in today's, he'd be one of the best hitters in today's game. Had 102 home runs. It was about the hits, though. He hit the 2,000 club, not quite 3,000 club. He had 2,812 hits. Yeah, man. Born in Ohio. I don't know where he died, but
he's still alive today.
Yeah, right. Oh man, I guess I'll bring it back with my next pick here. I went with Christy Mathewson. He played for the New York Giants from 1900 to 1916. Nickname the Kristen Gentleman. I don't know why he earned that nickname, but maybe Christy was a innocent guy, treated everyone nice. He was a gentleman. He was a pitcher, 373 wins, 188 losses, ERA of 2.13. And he started in 552 games, had 30 saves. 30 saves. Did a little bit of everything, man.
All right, so my next one here is one of my favorites because he was an average player, and then he had one season where he just went crazy and then didn't do anything else. It is Luke Appling. Nickname was either Old Aches and Pains because he played till he was 45, or Luscious Luke.
Oh, I like that one.
Also, because he's actually from the town next to me where I grew up, and he was born on the same day as me. And he died on the same day he was born. Weird enough. So he played for 20 seasons between 1930 and 1950. A career 75 RBI, 3 home run type of player. In 1936, he hit 204 hits with 128 RBIs. Luis Arias would be proud. Out of 204 hits, he only had 40 extra base hits. So he had 164 singles. He hit 388 that year with a 981 OPS. He stole a lot. He was not successful a lot. He was 8 for 27 on steals in his career. He walked 1,300 times in his career. He only struck out 500. Luscious Luke, North Carolina's best.
Luscious Luke.
All right, Kev, last two.
All right. Next up for me, I went with burly old stubblebeard Grimes.
Old Stubblebeard.
Played for the Pirates. Decent earned run average, 3.53. I was also a manager, but didn't have a great record as a manager though. But his best, or I appreciated his nickname the best, I guess, out of the ones I picked. And then the last one I have, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. You know what? I'm gonna switch it because I don't know if I like that guy's name. Anyway, so my last one I'm gonna go with is Carl, the meal ticket Hubble. Who would she say?
I said it was a slur, wasn't it?
No. I want you to know, do you know how many when I looked through these, their nickname was just NIG? And I was like, I'm not using any of these. I was like
I'll leave that one to Steve.
Yeah, right.
Even I avoided those.
Yeah, right.
I was like, nah, man.
Just like, yeah, so my guy, before I start, Steve, I appreciate you. I've just made a donation to the NAACP.
It was a different time.
Yeah. Jackie Robinson is the greatest thing to ever. Like, listen, I voted for Lamar Jackson for MVP. And I couldn't vote for him, but I would have voted for Obama twice, okay?
All right, stubble beard, huh?
Yeah, Stubblebeard and the meal ticket are my last two.
What position Stubblebeard played? Sounds like a catcher.
Yeah.
No, I think he. Hold on, let me, because I have.
What was his name?
Yeah, he was a pitcher / manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, burly, old Stubblebeard Grimes.
Burly.
All right, so my last one is Dave Altizer. His nickname was Filipino. Because he began playing baseball when he was 25, and he was in the military, bunked up with a professional baseball player who asked him to come play so they could fill out their team while they were in the military in the Philippines during the Boxer Rebellion. Came over, got signed, and when they asked where he learned to play baseball, he said the Philippines, so they just called him Filipino. Nothing really stat-wise. That was I thought it was interesting. His first career game, he was 3 for 4, and the rest of that season, he played 30 more games. The rest of that season, he was a combined 2 for 55. Yeah, he trying to see who is he played his first career game. He played against a pitcher who pitched all 9 innings but gave up 19 hits and 13 walks, and they still lost the game. I have an honorable mention. I'll bring up after you do your last two, Steve, just because I thought this was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Or your last one here. So go ahead, run over your last one.
My last one here is Johnny Mize. The big cat played for the St. Louis Cardinals, the New York Giants, and the Yankees. He's a Hall of Famer, 10-time All-Star, has a batting title. He hit 321 in his career, had 359 home runs. In one season in 1947 for the New York Giants, he scored 137 runs. That was the peak. Like, year after that, he scored 110, so nothing to shake. But after that, 63, 59 kind of fell off. But still, 5-time World Series winner. He's from Georgia. So there you go, Danny. And yeah, man,
If only I was from Georgia.
Oh yeah, North Carolina. My bad, North Carolina.
Just because I made that racist joke earlier doesn't mean I'm from Georgia, okay?
I'll be North Carolina. We got the big cat, 1936 and 1953. So yeah, nice little long career.
Yeah. So my honorable mention, his name was the Yiddish Curver, Barney Pelty. He was the first Jewish player to ever play in Major League Baseball. And, you know, when you think of these guys, you know, you want to think of them the way like Jackie Robinson, like you want to think like he was the first and he was like one of the best ever, right? No, his career win percentage was 40. He had 5 seasons of 20 losses or more.
This is team's fault.
Here's the best part. He had 5. Think about this. He had 5 seasons of 20 losses or more. He was a closer. He was a closer for the first 3 years of his career, and then after realizing he couldn't pitch past the 1 inning, they moved him to a starter.
It's usually the other way around, right? Like, yo, man, like you got some stuff, but it usually fades after 2 innings, bro. So,
as a closer in his second season, he faced 1,200 batters. He only struck out 25, and he hit 77.
Hey man,
we need pictures like that back, just throwing at people.
You want to know something even crazier with all that? During that time, up until 1912, when he was traded from the St. Louis Browns to Washington, his ERA was only above 2.5 once. So when he had command, he was cooking.
He had command. He was just the enforcer. They put him out there, right. And then he had to beat somebody.
Yeah, he had control. He knew where to hit him. Send that guy to Jazz Chisholm. Like, hey man, this is the trash talker we need, right? This is the guy to come out and close the game. They're already. So you know what it is? The game was already lost, and he was just come in there and just start beating the shit out of these. They're down 5, 6, 7, 8 runs. He's like, all right, bring him in.
There you go. All right, so let's get into some games here. Share the screen. I got a couple new ones we can go through. But let's start with your Nats. Let me change the screen so we're all on it. Year 2010 top 5 hits, 2015 120 plus strikeouts, franchise top 10 stolen bases, and played with Michael Barrett.
So random.
By the way, Trout got an RBI and Nito scored, so now it's all up to your boy Naylor.
I mean, switch Strasburg with Pudge.
Where's Pudge? There he is.
And Gio with Ian Desmond.
I was going to say, there's no other pitchers on this list, so that made it easy.
Switch Andre Dawson with Trey Turner. Ian Desmond with Hector Almonte.
Switch JD Smart and Trey Turner. But
You want to
No, Trey Turner didn't play in 2020.
I mean, I'm sorry. Leave JD Smart there. JD Smart and Morgan. Sorry.
You want to swing?
No.
No.
Hold on. Didn't Trey Turner steals bases, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he's. I don't know.
Like
if he'd be top
2015 to
10.
2023.
Switch Trey Turner and JD Smart. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, Kev. I'm wrong.
That's fine. I mean, he did steal a lot of bases. I just don't know if he was there long enough to be top 10.
Like 6 years. Swing?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
It's Steve being right. There we go, bud.
Hey, man.
Hey.
I'm right 30% of the time, every time.
Listen, every once in a while, just like, Jimmy Bannon gets one home run every once in a while in his career.
A broken clock's right twice a day.
Bob Ferguson hits one deep sometime in 1882, All right. He's gotta be here, which I don't even think Hank Aaron stole that many bases, but he definitely didn't play with Chipper. He's not a pitcher.
Did Jason Hayward play with Chipper? No way.
Yeah, he did. Jason Hayward came in 2008. Chipper retired 2010. Alex Wood's gonna be on the strikeout list here. God, what a terrible team this was. And Julio Teheran, Tommy Hanson, and Alex Wood was all we had. Prado. The thing is, there's like 6 guys on this list that has played with Chipper. I'm gonna guess Hugh Duffy. Shelby Miller is a pitcher. So I'm gonna switch. Because Infante was the backup. Ooh, I'm off by 1. All right, so it's got to be Tommy Hanson and Julio. Or wait, did Julio come in? So I know Julio was our ace when we sucked. Yeah, so it's probably Billy Wagner. Michael Bourne. Fuck it. All right, I'm missing one. Try it. No, it was up.
So Shelby and Tommy Hanson then?
Yeah, it's got to be. Yep, there we go. God, Tommy Hanson was so fucking bad. We thought he was the answer. All right, we go. Batter up.
Hmm.
I feel like that's a short second baseman.
It's not the big cat. Not
Steve,
gorgeous.
you want to give us a random guess? It's got to be like a power hitting second baseman because he launches that. I was gonna take a swing and say Ozzy, but I think he's too like bulky.
Is that Cal Raleigh?
Let's see. AL West, not a catcher.
And his number is what lower?
We have no info on his number.
And it's not the Mariners, so
yeah,
we can take all of them out. He's not chubby, so it's not like Max.
Not Jake Berger.
Just he looks small.
Yeah. My mind is telling me Shanawell, but I don't think it's Shanawell. I'm going to try it just to see if we can get the team. No, not a first baseman.
Not the Angels.
All right, it's an outfielder because if it would light up yellow if it was. So.
All right, do Swordstrom.
Soderstrom. All right, so outfielder on either the Rangers or the Astros. Couldn't be Jake Myers, could it?
I mean, maybe.
It's small. It's not Altuve, right?
It could.
Yeah.
It could be Altuve.
Well, no, Altuve's not lefty though.
No.
All right, so number is single digit. It's a Ranger.
Josh Smith. No. Wow. All right.
It's got to be a DH because look, catcher, first, outfield, nothing's matched.
Oh, okay.
So
the Ranger. Who's with the Ranger?
so is it Jock?
Yeah, it is him. Now that you say it, I can see it.
Look, it's his one hit this year.
Damn,
It literally is his first home run too.
Mayton.
Yeah, he sucked, bro. All right, we'll do pitcher and then we'll go back and we'll do some randoms.
Just throw out Scooble just because it's a lefty. Start from there.
I don't think the leg kick's high enough though.
Yeah, I don't think it's him, but just to throw.
I think it might be Freed. No. All right, yeah, it's not AL. It's NL. Yeah.
Is it Sale?
27 or 26.
Is that Sales Armament? No, okay.
Mm-hmm. I've played so much MLB The Show lately. I think it's a national.
I mean, you could try Gore.
No, I think it might be Mitchell. I don't think it's Gore.
I just don't think that's his arm angle.
I think it's. I'm gonna try this one because that's
not Mitchell Parker. Oh yeah,
that's who I was thinking of. Yeah. All right, so 26, 27-year-old. It's not National League East either, so West or Central. I saw the foot movement, and that's what made me think it was Mitchell Parker because he does like the pat down of the mound before he throws.
You play a lot of the show.
Bro, I've got nothing to do all week.
What number is he?
We have no clue. It's not anything in the 20s, 50s, or 70.
All right, try Boyd for the White Sox.
Well, it's NL.
Or not, I mean the Cubs, Matthew Boyd. I said White Sox, didn't I?
All right, NL Central. We got two more guesses. Not the Cubs.
And we still don't know the number.
Who's on St. Louis?
Liberatore? Michaelos?
Could be Lodolo. The Reds.
Hey, he's young too. We need a young guy. Boom, there we go. All right, let's try a random pitcher and then we'll go back to batters. Whoever he is, he's caked up. You telling me you can't notice that right there?
Got some power in them legs.
Yeah.
It's not him because he's not thick enough around the waist, but just because I know he's a right-hander, do Luis Ortiz of the Guardians.
Whoa, Kev.
Luis Ortiz is a big boy.
All right, American League, Dominican.
That's a Dominican ass.
Is this Luis Castillo?
So it's West or East.
ALS. Numbers in the 50s. You gotta think older pitcher.
So it's not anybody on the Rangers.
I don't think it's anyone on the A's besides Sevy, but I don't think he's Dominican, is he?
It's not anybody on the Astros because Valdez, I don't think it's Dominican, plus he's left-handed. So what, that leaves us with the Angels and the Mariners?
Whoa. Could be Ronald Blanco doesn't have long hair. That's the only other one I was thinking of.
Somebody on athletics, right?
Could be nah. The hair is too long for it to be Sevy. That's like I'm looking at it, looks like he's got long hair.
Try Jose Soriano.
I don't think he's that old, but I'm just impressed.
Oh, yeah, he's not that old. All right. Oh yeah, I knew Soriano was Dominican.
I'm gonna trust Sevy. No, so it is an Astro or a Ranger.
Well, so who on the? It's not a Astro. It's got to be a Ranger then. But I didn't think it was the Rangers.
Yeah, I had to look at their.
Who do the Rangers have? They have.
Well, how old is Framber? No, he's not. Never mind.
Well, Framber's also throws left.
Oh.
I mean, who? It's a starting pitcher, right? Or is it a relief pitcher?
It's a starting pitcher.
Because their pitchers are Evaldi, DeGrom, Mall, Leiter, and then Corbin, right?
Yeah, they have most Texas thing ever, American white pitchers.
So maybe it is the Astros. But the Astros are.
Is McCullers secretly Dominican? Is McCullers secretly Dominican, and we just didn't know this whole time?
I gotta go to roster. Hold on.
I'm telling you,
Rucker
the
Dominican? He's not Dominican, right? He's American.
I think the only other person it could be is Blanco.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's got to be him then.
Boom. The hair threw me off because the way it looked like it was like flowing.
Yeah. Well, it's poofing out the back there.
Yeah, I forgot about Blanco because he's hurt again.
Blanco with the thickness.
Steve, I take it you're down with the thickness?
Down with the thickness.
All right, here we go.
He's short too.
Love short kings today.
Who else is a short batter?
I mean, go Altuve now if you want to, but I know it's not him.
No.
Why do these guys be like 6'1", 6'2"? We just think they're short because they're crouched.
Well, I guess Peterson actually I think is a 6 foot. So
let's try. Let's say Jock.
It's not
Jock.
No, it's not Jock.
Jock left.
All right, not American League, but it's a left fielder. I got a really dumb guess I'm going to put in. Wait, he's not even in here. Never mind. I'm going to do Eli White. Stowers is lefty, isn't he? going through my National League left fielders.
Oh, is it National League?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conforto is a righty. Lourdes. Conforto, Lourdes. Fuck, who's in left field for San Diego? Look at Central. You have Hap. You have Austin Hayes.
Is Hap left-handed or is he right?
I thought he was righty, but I think he's lefty. You have Brian Reynolds in left. He's a switch hitter, but okay, I'm gonna put him just so we can get a.
Yeah, get somebody on there.
All right. Well, they have him as a right fielder, so number is 10. So his number is between 10 or 11 and 19.
And then so NL
O'Neal
West or
Cruz is
NL
center
East.
field, right?
Hmm?
O'Neal Cruz is center field, right?
Yeah, and he's lefty.
And then it's NL West or NL East.
Yeah. Dude, this Red Sox game is crazy right now.
I mean, why don't you try Gurriel?
I could spell it right. So it isn't NL West.
Dustin May was not the pick.
Oh, Lydia's gonna be pissed at you for that. She took it.
He has 0 Ks and is the bottom of the third.
Okay, so it's not a Diamondback, not a Dodger, so it's a Rocky, a Giant, or a Padre.
I don't even know who the Rockies left fielder is.
Sounds like you need to get your life together, Kev.
It's probably him too. I'll look it up.
No, that's cheating.
Okay. Well, the Giants left fielder.
I think it's either Veen or I think Jordan back. Or I think they played Doyle in left sometimes too for the Rockies.
Try Jordan back.
Let's get the Rockies. He's not even in the system.
Damn. Okay.
Fuck
Is it
it.
Rockies or
All right, so it's got to be a Giant or a Padre. 26 or 25.
He's not Venezuelan, USA,
Cuban.
Or Cuban.
So he's probably Puerto Rican or Dominican. It's got to be a Giant. Wait, is it Ramos?
Do Ramos. Yeah, do Ramos. The Giants.
Boom! Look at that. He is short, or looks short.
hold on, how tall is he?
He's probably pretty short. He looks short there.
So I thought instead of
He's 5'11".
It's not that short.
So I thought of instead of doing an immaculate grid today, we could do some of those like Sporkle quizzes. So I'm looking through these right now so first one here, we're going to do MLB teams without red or blue in their logo. There are 7 of them. We have 1 minute.
Without red or blue?
Without red or blue in their team colors.
All right, let's go.
All right, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
White Sox.
Marlins.
Yep. Astros.
Oh, Marlins was incorrect.
They gave us the A's. They use Navy.
Oh my god. Okay.
Giants.
Giants, yeah. Padres.
Yep.
Brewers.
Now they have blue.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
blue.
technically.
They have blue. They have
The Rockies.
Yankees have
Yep.
blue.
We have 2
Orioles.
more. One more. 10 seconds.
We already said the Giants. Shit.
Diamondbacks. No, they have red. Shit.
Pirates.
Pirates. Fucking Pirates. No
Trash.
one-
That's why you're gonna lose Paul Skeens, fuckers.
Yeah.
All right, so next one we got here, we're gonna do this one. MLB top 100 home run hitters. It's a minefield
God
though.
damn. Like current or of all time?
Top 100 of all time without naming any of the players not in the top 100. So if you guess a player not in the top 100, it's over. It's a minefield. All right, you ready? We got 20 minutes.
Yep.
Well,
George Sizzler. Sisler. Gorgeous George.
I'm
What?
not putting that in there.
Do it. No. Not
Yeah.
the Whistler. Sisler.
Won't even let me put that in.
Wow.
You trying to get us to lose? It's a minefield. We can't miss one.
I mean, do the obvious ones. Bonds. Aaron.
Pujols, Ruth. Let's go put Johnson, see if it comes up with a nope. Ramirez,
A-Rod.
Ortiz.
Just
Just start naming every Spanish name you can.
Sosa.
yeah.
Frank Robinson. Ramirez. Did we did Manny Ramirez?
Yeah, I did that.
We did Ortiz too.
Yep.
Mantle.
Got him.
Ted Williams.
There's 3 Williams on there. Ted, Billy, and Matt.
Did we get all 3 of them just by doing Williams?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Adam Dunn. I fucked up. I put Cecil Fielder. All right, let me find another one. Ooh, here we go. Original logos. All right, ready? We got 4 minutes.
So we just got to name the team?
Yeah.
All right, Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that's easy.
Mets. Blue Jays. Rays. Rockies. Marlins. Angels.
Brewers.
Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
Y'all are wrong.
Oh,
No,
Mariners? That's the Mariners?
Mariners, yeah.
The pitchfork he has down. Cardinals.
The elbows.
Expos or Nationals, whatever they're called.
Expos. Nationals. Royals.
Padres. Brewers, really? All right, cool.
Nope.
No?
Oh, is that the Braves?
No.
Who
Come
was
back to
originally in Milwaukee?
Boston was originally the Braves, weren't they? But they're not going to count that. Cleveland Indians. No. The Athletics. No. Washington.
Senators.
Yeah, but who did they turn into?
The Expos, didn't they?
No, they moved somewhere. We'll come back to that.
Did they become the Reds? Were they the Red? No. Yeah, come back.
I think this is the Tigers.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. It's got to be the Orioles, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Who the
Right,
hell
we can pass if you want.
Past that. Oh shit. Skip that one. Jesus.
Well, the Colts is the Astros, or I mean, I don't know what they were before, I guess, but That's the Colt 45 logo.
Yeah.
It was the Rangers.
He's
No,
talking
no,
about
not that one. I'm talking about
down
2
river
over.
Oh,
the Colt 45.
Is that
Is that Boston?
Louisville? Like that's a weird.
I can skip if you want.
Skip.
These peas.
You already said the Pirates.
No. No. Skip. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, it's on there twice. Like what the fuck? So they went back there.
I think one of these two is like the Boston Braves.
Probably.
Go to that one. Go to the top one and put Braves.
Yep, last one was. Cubs.
Are these all current
these-
teams?
Yeah, these are the original teams that are still
Athletics.
active. I already tried that. Yep, there we go.
Do we
That's
don't
the
have-
Same fucking
Sox.
logo.
yeah, it's got to be the White Sox. Is it
is
not?
Nope.
All right, so that means the White Sox are one of the other ones.
Let's see.
I mean, we don't have the Brewers.
All right, so the ones we missed was the Milwaukee was the Orioles.
Okay.
I put the Indians, but it was the Guardians, so we kind of got that right.
Yeah.
Washington Senators turned into the Twins. This was the Brewers. This was the original Yankee logo.
What?
We missed the White Sox. We picked the wrong C. This was the Dodgers, Pirates,
Brooklyn,
Phillies,
yeah, okay.
Reds.
We should have got Brooklyn.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's see. I want to see what this one is first.
We need Don for this one.
Okay. I think we might be able to do this. We might be able to do this one without Don. You got to name one player who fit each of these descriptions. All right, ready?
I can't even read.
Name one player who had at least 3,000 hits in his career. Can be anyone, not like you have to get the least likely option.
Why am I struggling with that right now?
Who holes hit 3,000?
Ichiro, probably.
Yeah, he was on that list. Hit more than 600 home runs in his career.
Barry
Okay.
Bonds.
Yeah, stole more than 600 career bases.
Ricky Henderson.
Played for at least 12 franchises in their career.
Bruce Chen.
Look at you learning, but no. I'm going to go Octavio Dotel. Had at least 240 hits in a season.
George Sisler. I
Tony
mean,
Gwynn.
You're getting
Yeah.
banned, Steve.
I just want to put Gorgeous George on one of these lists here, man.
Glenn's with 2 ends, right? I
Yeah.
guess he didn't do it.
Wow. Okay. Larry Walker. Ichiro. Did we already use Ichiro? Is that
No, there we go.
okay?
I guess
Oh,
he
look
would be.
who's number 2. Who's right behind Suzuki? Suck my.
All right. Had 60 or more home runs in a season.
60 or more home runs.
Yeah.
Mark McGuire.
I think you can use the same name multiple times, but I'm not
Okay.
sure. Had at least 160 RBIs in a season.
Uh,
Gotta be Gehrig, right?
yeah.
Walked at least 140 times in a season.
Barry.
Yep. Had more than 20 triples in a post-1947 season.
30 triples?
20.
Post 1947.
Henderson had to have, right?
Why
No.
would the Eater not have it?
Mm-mm.
Who's super fast? Billy Hamilton?
That would require Billy Hamilton to hit. Lofton? No. Kirby? No.
Griffey?
No. We can go to the next one if you want to come back.
Bonds? Just say Bonds again. I'm just.
No.
All right.
All right. Stole more than 75 bases in a post-1947 season. I think we can.
Use Henderson again, yeah.
I'm going to try Vince Coleman for this last one. No. Was caught stealing 30 more times in a season.
Jesus. I don't know. Any national ever?
Kyle Schwarber.
Brett. Caught 30? I don't know. I mean, it's probably Henderson again, honestly.
Yeah.
Sizzler he was still
Hit 4 home runs in a game. What if this is updated? No.
Who was the Beltray? Didn't Beltray do it? No, damn.
We can skip to the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like the music's coming from outside one of y'all's houses now. Oh, not so funny, huh?
Actually, yeah, it's not my house.
Stole 6 or more bases in a game. Gotta go Henderson again, right? No. Cobb. Only 6 players have ever done this.
Yeah, I mean,
we can skip these if you want.
Lou Brock?
No.
No. Yeah.
Struck out at least 3,000 batters in their career.
Nolan Ryan.
All right. Walked at least 1,500 batters in their career.
Nolan Ryan.
Gave up more than 400 home runs in their career.
Nolan Ryan.
No. Patrick Corbin with a Democratic president.
Yeah.
400 home runs? Oof.
We can skip to the next one if you want.
Yeah.
All right. Allowed more than 160 hit by pitches. Tried it. Didn't work.
Wasn't the Yiddish
Cy Young?
No, it wasn't him. He had like 145.
Skip that. I have no idea.
All right.
He's just beating the shit out of dudes.
Rivera for that one. Pitched in more than 1,000 games in their career.
Yeah, something Johnson, right? Was it Walter Johnson? No. I can't remember his first name.
Gibson. Yeah, I was thinking Gibson, but
No. It's probably one of those old dudes that,
Yeah, that pitched every day.
yeah, started more than 700 games in their career. Gibson, no. Ryan. Struck out at least 300 batters in a post-1947 season. Ryan. Won at least 30 games in a season since 1900. Oh, what's his name? Fuck, I gotta pull it up. The guy I just did the thing on.
The nickname.
Carruthers, yeah. What? They're not even counting him. That's bullshit. Oh, wait. He did it in 1899.
yeah, I was about to say, was he?
Bob Feller.
There's somebody who was
Babe Ruth.
didn't one of the Braves do it? One of the Braves.
Was it Sane? Necro? No. All right. Had a season, at least 30 complete games with a whip under 0.9.
He's got to be one of these
Jesus
early
Christ.
guys. He's just one of these.
Yeah.
What? His whip was not. Hang on. Oh, his whip was totally below it. Oh, wait. Never mind. Ugh.
All right, struck out. Let's go to the next one. I can't.
Struck out 20 or more batters in a game. 5 of them. It's got to be
Kerry
Ryan.
Wood.
All right, we're now on to had 8 or more triples in a season. Or 20 or more triples in a season. 8 players have done this.
You already said Ichiro. You already said.
Only 8 players have ever done it. Brock.
Mhm.
You already said Mickey.
All right, so players that were on that list: Curtis Granderson and Jimmy Rollins hit 4 home runs in a game. Adcock, Mike Cameron were the first 2. 6 or more stolen bases. We could have used Hamilton for that.
Yeah.
Gave up more than 400 home runs. Jamie Moyer.
Jamie Moyer.
Picked off more than 70 base runners. Steve Carlton. Allowed more than 160 hit by pitches. Gus Wayhing and Chick Fraser.
Yeah, we weren't getting that.
Pitched in more than 1,000 games in their career. Jesse Orozco, Mike Stanton. Won at least 30 games. I was spelling Mathewson wrong this whole time, and that probably would have got us a bunch of these. And then had a season with a whip under 0.9. Ed Walsh, Charlie Sweetie. Do y'all want to do one more, or y'all want to end it here?
I can't believe I slipped up and didn't give up the Kristen Gentleman on that one, man. You're upset.
All right, Steve, I know you like dingers, so how about this one for the last one here? You got 8 minutes, 30 teams.
By year?
The last 40 home run hitter for each team. So it tells you what year they did it in.
Schwarber. Let's go.
Nope. Wait, that's
Harper.
Yep, it was Schwarber. That's Olsen. It's Alon. You know what, Steve? I'll let you freestyle it from here. Let's go. Come on. You can ask for help. That's what Kev will give it
give
to
me some help with the Marlins here.
Stanton.
Your Nats.
2015. Was
Hard
that
to be Harper. Yeah.
Yep. Cardinals.
I can't read the year.
Was that Pujols?
Yeah.
Cubs, 2005.
Sosa then.
Nope.
Wow. All right.
I bet you I know who it is.
How old is Rizzo?
I bet you it's Aramis Ramirez. Nope.
Soriano.
Nope. You can go to the next one if you want. Next one is Brewers, 2019.
It's either Braun or Yelich.
Old steroid guy. Okay.
Reds, 2019.
49.
Jay Bruce. Who was their third baseman?
Suarez. Yep. Pirates, 1973.
Clemente, I guess.
Nope.
Mm,
I know it. Stargell.
sure.
Dodgers, 2024.
Yeah, Otani.
He was also the Angels last one, too. Giants, 2004. I think we know this one.
Yeah, Bonds.
Rockies, 2019.
It wasn't Carey, right?
Who?
Played for the Cubs.
You talking about Chris Bryant?
Chris Bryant.
No. I think it's Story, no.
I don't think it's him, but try Blackman.
Arenado wasn't still on the team, was he? Oh, he was.
Oh, it was all right. Was that
Padres, 2021. We got 5 minutes left.
Could it be Tatis, or is that too early for him?
That was right before he got busted. Diamondbacks, 2009.
Luis Gonzalez? No way. He was already out of the league by then.
Yeah. We can skip to another team if you want, but we have 2 more left in the National League.
Yes, good. Let's go to Maryland.
All right, Yankees.
Judge.
Red Sox.
What year?
18.
Was it Ortiz? Was that his last year?
No. I think it's Devers. No. That was the last year with Betts. Because that was their World Series year.
Somebody text Don.
Yeah.
All right, we can go to Blue Jays. Blue Jays.
Vlad or Bo.
Vlad.
I would say Vlad.
Tampa Bay, 2007.
Longoria.
Mm-mm.
Somebody else they traded.
Who was their first baseman back then? 'Cause I remember wasn't it Delgado? No.
I mean McGriff, but I feel like that was I think
Yeah, it was
he
not
was gone by
2007.
then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we can skip it. Orioles, 2024.
Henderson.
Nope.
Really? Gunner
Yep.
didn't do it? I thought
It's someone who is not on the Orioles anymore.
I can't remember who was on their team.
Anthony. Yeah.
Okay.
Tigers, 2013.
Prince?
No, it was Miggy. It was his Triple Crown year. Twins, 2019.
Buxton? Was that his last good year?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I don't think Bauer ever hit over 40.
Joe Ryan? No, Joe Ryan wasn't there. He wasn't hit.
Joe Ryan's also a pitcher.
It's a pitcher.
Chicago White Sox, 2016. I want to say it's Anderson, but no. Guardians, 2006.
Good God. I guess Jim Tomei, but
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm still stuck on the Twins. Twins. Try Nelson Cruz. Was he on it? He was there,
Yep.
right?
He was also the Mariners in 2016.
that's
We got Rangers in 2018.
Garcia.
Mm-mm. I think that was Gallo. Yeah,
Okay.
right before he sucked. Athletics, also 2018.
I'm trying to think of the Cubs. I'm about to text John, man. Derek something.
Derek Lowe? No.
No, for the Cubs. For the Cubs. Sorry.
Yeah.
Derek. It's something Lee. Try put in Lee. Just see.
Yeah, it was Derek Lee. There you go. We got Athletics, Astros, Royals, White Sox, Guardians. Royals was 2021.
Is Perez there by then, Salvador?
Yeah.
Did Altuve ever hit 40?
No, but Bregman did. Because that was when they got caught cheating. Athletics 2018.
I mean, it wouldn't be Matt Olson, would it?
No, because Olsen would have popped up with the Braves. I think it's Chapman or Simeon. No. Someone they traded.
Right. Yeah, I don't know anymore. I'm tired.
Someone
of
who
my
is
head.
currently, yeah. 30 seconds.
My brain can't think anymore. It's late.
Your old man brain. All right, we can give up. See, we got 20 seconds. So we missed JD Martinez for the Red Sox, Carlos Pena, Todd Frazier for the White Sox.
Carlos Pena, you were right about the first base.
Travis Hafner for the Guardians. Chris Davis for the Athletics, and Mark Reynolds. So, and that'll be it for us here on the Payoff Pitch. Thank you guys all for tuning in. We'll have to try some of these with Don so he can get his autism going next week. But for us here today, that'll be it. Make sure you guys check out our Friday night show. If we have one, still got to decide when we're shutting down our internet for our move. But if not, you can check everyone's plays, best bets, talking points, whatever you see us posting on Twitter throughout the day at Gotham Gambling, Fast
Motorsports
Breaks,
King, baby.
and Heels 0809. You can see me ranting against my Braves on Gotham Gambling. As soon as I get the access back to the For Frequency Sake page and they stop banning me from it, I will be bitching about the Braves on there as well. So make sure you guys follow For Frequency's Sake on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you may be. We're killing it. Joe's been doing breakdowns of every NBA Finals game at the end of the games, going over it. We're about to do our big fantasy draft opening show. And once again, as we've mentioned on every show, the Toys for Tot League is starting back up soon. League registration is starting soon. If you want to play fantasy and donate to a good cause, Toys for Tots Charity League is for you. Last year we raised over $3,000, and this year we are looking to hit a goal of 5,000 to 10,000. And we're trying to have over 100 leagues. If you want to host a league yourself, make sure you contact us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and you can reach out to me at Gotham Gambling, and we can get you set up with your own hosted league with your friends. It goes to a great charity. We do a big live stream where we go through Walmart. They literally shut down 2 lanes just for us, and they just go for hours. It's a great time. Last year, some people won some sports cards. Last year, people won golf outings. Last year, people just won Fanatics gift cards and $100. So winners will be decided at the end of the year. It's huge. We have like a ladies league. It's honestly one of the most fun things I've done. Different rules, different styles on everything. But enough rambling on that. That'll be it for us here tonight. Once again, you can follow all of us over on Twitter at FastBreakHeels0809 Gotham Gambling, and for our non-existent fourth host, Don Corleone Jones. And once again, I'm Dan, the Braves hater, with Steve, the SEC guy. And you can check them out at the College Juice Pod for that reference, who are now on the For Frequency Sake Network. So hopefully your first live stream will be coming up soon. I'm really glad